What are the projected increases in India's EV lithium battery demand and the significant environmental and economic risks associated with inadequate recycling of this waste? India is witnessing rapid electrification and EV adoption as part of its decarbonization efforts, with EV lithium battery demand projected to skyrocket to nearly 139 gigawatt hours (GWh) by 2035 from 4 GWh in 2023. The expanding renewable energy sector and battery energy storage systems (BESS) are also driving this demand. However, this growth poses considerable environmental and economic risks if a robust recycling framework is not in place. Improper disposal of lithium batteries can lead to severe repercussions, including the leakage of hazardous materials into soil and water. In 2022 alone, lithium batteries accounted for a substantial 7 lakh of the 1.6 million metric tons of e-waste generated in India, undermining the nation's circular economy ambitions and leading to severe environmental degradation. How does the Extended Producer Responsibility, that is EPR, mechanism under India's battery waste management rules, that is BWMR, work? And what is the specific role of the EPR floor price within this system? The Extended Producer Responsibility, that is EPR, is a cornerstone of India's battery waste management rules, that is BWMR, designed to compel producers to fund battery collection and recycling. This mechanism aims to close the loop in the battery value chain by making producers responsible for the end-of-life management of their products. Producers typically rely on recyclers to meet their recycling targets because they lack the necessary logistics and infrastructure for waste collection. In return for meeting these obligations, recyclers receive a minimum payment known as the EPR floor price, in exchange for EPR certificates that attest to the producer's compliance. This EPR floor price is crucial as it is intended to ensure that recyclers are adequately compensated for their significant upfront investments in infrastructure, research and development, skilled labor, advanced technology, and effective recycling methods.
What are the major negative consequences of an EPR floor price that is set too low for battery waste recycling in India, both environmentally and economically?
A major hurdle in India's battery waste management is an EPR floor price that is too low to sustain robust recycling operations. Proper disposal of lithium battery waste is inherently expensive, requiring advanced processing technologies, safe transportation, and skilled labor to prevent hazardous materials from leaching into ecosystems. When the EPR floor price doesn't cover these essential costs, it becomes economically unviable for legitimate recyclers to operate sustainably. This leads to the proliferation of informal and fraudulent recyclers who create market distortions and perverse incentives for producers. These illicit operators often issue false recycling certificates or simply dump hazardous waste, a failure previously observed in India's plastic waste management sector. Consequently, if left unchecked, this undermines India's circular economy ambitions, leads to severe environmental degradation, and is projected to result in over $1 billion in foreign exchange losses for India by 2030 due to inadequate recycling.
What specific actions must India take to establish a fair and effective EPR floor price that supports a sustainable battery recycling industry?
To protect legitimate recyclers and encourage compliance, India must immediately adopt a fair and globally comparable EPR floor price. This price needs to accurately reflect the real costs associated with recycling and building the necessary industry infrastructure. The design of this pricing structure should also allow for a gradual transition to market-driven prices once the recycling ecosystem matures and standardization is established. This necessitates immediate constructive dialogue among policymakers, industry stakeholders, and recyclers to agree upon a viable pricing structure. This dialogue should be informed by a thorough analysis of global pricing structures and best practices, such as the United Kingdom's significantly higher recycling cost per kilogram for EV batteries compared to what is currently considered for India. Ultimately, the EPR floor price must cover the full spectrum of recycling expenses, from collection logistics to material recovery, ensuring recyclers can operate sustainably without resorting to shortcuts and incentivizing producers to audit recyclers. Now, we shall take up answer in 150 words for the last and fifth question.
Beyond recalibrating the EPR floor price, what two other strategic actions are crucial for transforming India's battery waste management into a catalyst for green growth and a circular economy?
And the answer to this question is, besides adjusting the EPR floor price, two other crucial strategic actions are strengthening enforcement mechanisms and integrating informal recyclers. Firstly, enforcement mechanisms require urgent strengthening in India. This involves implementing robust audit systems to ensure compliance, digitizing the issuance and tracking of EPR certificates to enhance transparency and accountability, and imposing stringent penalties for fraud and non-compliance to deter illicit activities. Secondly, integrating informal recyclers into the formal sector is vital. This can be achieved through targeted training programs and providing necessary regulatory support. Formalizing this segment will not only help to eliminate the hazardous practices often associated with improper waste disposal in the informal sector, but also significantly expand India's overall recycling capacity. These combined efforts are deemed not just an environmental imperative, but also an economic and strategic one, aiming to transform battery waste from a looming crisis into a driver for green growth and a truly circular economy.